Archimex login confirmed.
Welcome to the Lodge. You've accessed
the Lodgecast experience.
Warning, warning, dangerous spoilers ahead. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome to the Lodgecast Hotline. Brother Bishki here to tell you some of the hot upcoming movies we're going to be reviewing. If you see any of these movies and you have opinions about them, then please leave a voicemail at the phone number 1-877-565-1466, where you can call in your brief movie review and possibly be included in an episode. Don't forget to give us your bone count. Here are some of the hottest upcoming movies the Lodgecast will be reviewing.
Bad Trip, starring Eric Andre, rated R.
Sia's Music, rated PG-13. Coming to America, rated PG-13. Once again, that Lodgecast hotline number is 1-877-565-1466. Call toll free today. Love and light.
The Lodgecast is a little podcast where we watch weird movies, so you don't have to.
The Lodgecast, baby.
Lodgecast, gonna smoke grass. Lodgecast, missing movie pass. Lodgecast,
We're gonna watch some crap.
Lodgecast,
And then the Lodge Master chats.
With Lucas and Bishki.
Episode 97. Bliss. Wow. Hello and welcome to another beautiful, blissful edition of the Lodgecast. I'm your Lodge Master. With me as always is Brother Bishki.
Hello, Lodge Master.
Brother Lucas.
Wow.
And back by popular demand, it's Brother D.
Oh, hey, thanks. That makes me feel really good.
Brother Big D.
Welcome back, D.
Good to be back. Great to be
Oh
back. It's
my
great to
God.
see your faces. It's great to drink with you guys remotely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the remote drinking is going to be heavy on this one because, I mean, this might be one of the lodgiest movies in recent memory that we've covered on this here podcast.
Yeah.
The movie is Bliss. It's an Amazon Studios original, viewable on Amazon Prime Video right now. You can go watch it now, and I kind of need everybody that can hear this to see this movie. You don't have to see it now, but you need to see it.
Jeff
point.
Bezos had to resign from Amazon because he greenlit this movie because he was like, he bet it all on it. He was like, yes, this is it.
Oh, I
man.
like to think that that's the reality.
Available for no extra fees.
The movie stars Selma Hayek and Owen motherfucking Wilson. Owen Wilson is back, baby.
He's back.
I miss that crazy schnoz so much.
Crooked
it's
nose
good
Wilson.
It was so big in this movie.
It's bigger than ever.
So gross.
It's bigger than ever. I mean, he's fucking back, y'all. At the very least, you got to see this movie to just find out what's up with old Owen. Reconnect with him, touch base, touch schnoz. And, we're all chomping at the bit to get into it. But before we do so...
Bishki, what's that shot?
All right. From Rotten Tomatoes, Bliss is a mind-bending love story following Greg, Owen Wilson, who after recently being divorced and then fired, meets the mysterious Isabel, Selma Hayek, a woman living on the streets and convinced that the polluted, broken world around them is nothing but a computer simulation. Doubtful at first, Greg eventually discovers there may be some truth to Isabel's wild conspiracy. Period.
That's it.
That's it.
Whoa.
Mic
That's
drop.
a pretty good schnapps.
It's pretty good for what we got, yeah.
So did anybody know anything about this going in?
I went in
No.
completely blind, and I'm so happy I did. I'm going to do that from now on for every fucking movie.
Yes.
There's-
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
I listened to your guys' podcast on Promising Young Woman, and I stopped it before. At your warning, I stopped it and went and watched it completely
Yes.
blind. Why would I ever watch a trailer again? I don't understand. Like,
I don't watch them anymore. I just don't. the most I'll do is watch like 10 seconds to just rub it on my gums a little bit and make sure it's pure for the Lodgecast. And then I stop. And then I fucking stop. So yeah, this is definitely one of those where it's best to not know anything. All I knew from like 5 seconds of the trailer was that there's some sort of science fiction afoot. And I heard rumblings of some sort of like misbegotten Black Mirror elements. That's all I knew. So I didn't really know what I was looking for, but I knew something weird was coming.
Yeah, the one sheet of the movie is Salma Hayek and Owen Wilson's faces, but like it's like the poster has like different layers, and so it's like their faces are two different versions. There's the clean kind of white collar, like rich face, and then there's like the old haggard, street face or whatever.
Street level.
So yeah, I had zero awareness of this movie until like a week ago when I just saw the thumbnail of that poster on Amazon Prime, because I am an Amazon Prime subscriber. So I was like, what the fuck is this? Like I have not seen Owen Wilson since is it The Wedding Crashers? Like what did he do post Wedding Crashers? Like I don't know, right?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he had a heroin addiction problem at some point, a brief heroin addiction problem, or perhaps opiate addiction.
Well, no, I remember somewhere in the noughts or 2010s, he tried to kill himself or something. He and Jennifer Aniston broke up, and he was messed up, and I don't know the story, but it seems dark.
And all of that backstory adds levels of gravitas to this that feel very strange, because you see Owen Wilson, you hear Owen Wilson, especially after kind of the wowification of his persona that's happened on the internet in his absence. And you see him being serious, but you're like, I was laughing. Like I laugh right away when I see him, and when I hear him talk, I'm just like, this dude's hilarious, and he's likable. The positive part of that is that you're instantly likable without even, your character doesn't even really have to earn it. But the other side is, can we take him seriously in a serious role, And that's the delicate balancing act.
I was actually really impressed with his performance. I thought he was super understated in this. Like I thought it was a different performance for him, and I was pretty impressed with it. I really was.
Yeah. It's different for him, and it's sure as hell different for Salma Hayek. Like I've never seen Salma Hayek like this. She is a streetwise, shit-talking, sassy woman in this. And I was pleasantly surprised by both of them, especially in this very strange world that they're creating. So right off the bat, there's shades of, being John Malkovich. Owen Wilson works at this company called Technical Difficulties.
That was funny.
Which... It's just a bunch of people answering phones saying, hello, technical difficulties. You're having technical difficulties? And we kind of find out that he's hooked on some sort of pills for a shoulder injury, and he can't get his refills, and he's jonesing for more. And that kind of tips you off at the beginning that this is going to be like a possible drug parable, whatever nonsense. Yeah, whatever sort of sci-fi nonsense is going on, it's going to be grounded in some sort of addiction. But, with this kind of movie, you try to put that in the back of your head. You're like, this thing's going weird. It's trying to take me places. So I'm just going to, at least what I did was, I'm just like, I'm going to go along for the ride. I'm going to strap in.
Which is why it's really great to not know anything about this movie, because you really go like, okay, I don't need to, I'm not looking for the part where this happens or the part where, that happens. I'm like, okay, I have no idea where we're going. So let's go.
And when you see his wallet on his desk kind of glitch in and out, you're like, what the fuck is this? That's the first real sign that some sci-fi action is afoot. Bishki, did you know anything? Like, what were you doing in the early goings of this?
No, I knew very little. I saw the trailer, but I knew very little. I was very happy to see Owen. I love him.
Yes.
I was like Lodge Master, I was laughing almost immediately. But but I had no idea. Like, I was like he kills his boss. Bjorn.
He sort of accidentally kills his boss right after he gets fired, and then hangs him up in the window to hide the body and covers him with the drapes so that you can't see him from the inside of the office. But then the camera pulls out of the window to the outside and you just see this body hanging up in the window. It's one of the strangest visuals. Like, this movie seems truly like there's a part in the movie where Owen Wilson's like, you seem like you're just making this up as you go. That's what this movie feels like, a lot of it. You know, it's just like this fever dream of thoughts and nightmares that someone was having. And Amazon was like, yes.
Yeah, it felt like...
Put it directly on the screen.
It felt like, the writer-director Mike Cahill smoked DMT for the first time and had like some like out-of-body experience where when he came back down to earth was like, dude, we're living in a simulation, man. Like, don't you know I'm loco?
Yes.
And it owes a lot to the Matrix.
It owes a lot to a lot. And you have to by force push the Matrix out of your mind. You gotta not think about that.
But there's also this weird curveball where, it shows Owen Wilson as Owen Wilson, right? It's him. Maybe his hair is slicked back or it's combed a little cleaner or whatever. But he has this emotional B story where he's got his daughter's, he's divorced and he's got his daughter's high school graduation. He's like, I'm going to be there and I'm going to see you graduate and walk in the ceremony. And then afterwards we're going to go to dinner. And if your mom, will let me, like, I would like to treat all of us, and it's like this really important relationship.
His daughter is definitely the B story through this whole thing. Like, and he's constantly preoccupied with these drawings that he's making. He's making these drawings of like his dream Spanish villa. And he keeps drawing this mysterious woman that looks suspiciously like Salma Hayek. And so after he kills his boss, he gets out of the building. He goes across the street to a bar and he meets Isabel. He meets Salma Hayek. And how would you describe her look in this? Like what?
She's a homeless tweaker, like a homeless tweaker. She's still gorgeous,
Like Lodgemaster, what did you call it? From Dr. Sleep, like a buckle person or whatever.
Yeah, she's buckle adjacent. Like she almost looks ready for like a CW
buckle trunk
like
or whatever
supernatural show. Yeah. Like it's almost
goddess.
a buckle show with her. But she takes a hard turn into witchcraft because she quickly demonstrates to Owen that she can wave her finger and like cause shit to happen telekinetically. Like she knocks a waiter down.
And that's what determines like whether or not you're a real person, right? Like that specific mechanism.
She knocks him down and, Owen's like, whoa, what are you doing? And she's like, I don't care because he's not real. None of this is real. Only me and you are real. And so she tells him that she's going to fix his problem. She knows his problem. She points up to the window that they can see from where they're sitting. And you see the boss hanging up there. And she's like, I can fix your problem if you help me get my amulet necklace back. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here?
We're off to the races.
She has an amulet necklace full of glowing yellow crystals that he has to get back from this dude that's passed out in the bathroom. Like, they take these crystals and then she thanks him and she magically causes the boss to slip down off of the hooks that he's hanging from, and the window opens and he falls. He slides out of the window, making it look like
his corpse, like Weekend at Bernie's style. Yeah, like his
Weekend at Bernie's falling out the window. So Owen is supposedly off the hook for the murder, but they go on the run together into this kind of underground homeless encampment. just to lay low.
Safe harbor. Safe harbor.
Until the case is closed, technically.
Oh, until the case is closed.
But it was such a funny, like, I mean, you're describing it, but like to see it play out where
to see, you
like,
gotta see it.
And this is the first 10 minutes.
He's at a bar. He closes his tab. He like walks outside. The body just like randomly like the window just like opens and he slides out. And there are these technical difficulty office workers like smoking cigarettes, and they all like overreact, like, oh my god, like he jumped.
Oh, it's great.
He jumped, and Owen Wilson like walks up to one of the guys, and the guy's like, "Are you coming out of a bar right now?"
That actor was great. The guy who overreacted.
Yeah.
He just fucking killed him. He was hilarious.
And you know that they're overreacting like that, so that as a viewer, you know that they're not suspecting any foul play. You know, it's just like when you need help clarifying your plot, you can always have people just yell shit. Like, he's going over there and he's probably going to rob that bank, you know? So they go to Salma Hayek's little shanty town.
which is the 5 freeway where the 5 connects with the 110 north.
Yeah.
Like Burbank, Glendale Dodgers Stadium, like that whole area, like Frogtown.
It's a desirable area to build your shanty town. And I don't know if he means to be funny. Maybe he does. But just the way Owen Wilson says shit, I laughed out loud when he sees the shanty town and then he calls after, "Are you homeless?
Are you homeless?"
just the way he says it. And it's like, no shit, bro. Like, what do you think is happening here? So the movie's cool though in the way that, you know, when the crystals are introduced and when the magic happens and even when night falls over her shanty town, the scary kind of ambiance turns kind of magical and like inviting. Like there's a real gray blue kind of hue to most of the street level stuff in this movie. But when there's any sort of magic afoot, it turns golden and there's a saturation to the color correction.
And there's prisms.
Yeah, and so at night her homestead lights up and it's suddenly like kind of inviting and kind of romantic. And she makes some stir fry and he stays there and has some stir fry with her.
So what are you making?
She starts teaching him magic. Like, what is this? She starts teaching him how to light candles just by pointing a lighter at a candle. And then she's like, now try it without the lighter. And then he's just using his fingers as magic wands. Like, what were you guys feeling during this? What did you guys know what the fuck was going on?
I had no idea what was going on. I had like a general sense of what was going on, but I wasn't certain of my theory, and it was tough. I was on the ropes at this point. Like the first 30 minutes of this movie are really, really tough. Like it to me,
they're tough. There's so much shit going on. They're packing in more into that first 30 than we see in 2.5 hour movies.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on, and then like a lot of questions I have, but the movie just keeps barreling forward in terms of
it keeps moving.
Yeah.
And also you said like, what are you feeling? And that's something I want to point out is I was like engrossed from the beginning. Like the office scene when he's talking to his daughter on one line and the boss keeps calling, or the secretary keeps coming, you need to go see the boss. I was like so fucking uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like for some reason I was very like engrossed in all the different scenes. Like I was in there, you know? And so when the lights kicked on, like when she was showing him that stuff, even though I knew this was a device, I was like, oh, I had a little bit of wonderment there. You know what I mean?
Definitely. You wanted some of that stir fry she was cooking up.
Yeah. But I'm also terrified of being homeless. I have ever since I was a little kid. I have no idea why, but so like as soon as I got to the homeless camp, I was
weirdo.
Like, yeah, but it's weird. It's like I thought the different settings and the different cinematography did really put you in a place where, at least for me, where I was like, I didn't know where the story was going. It didn't make any sense at this point.
Right.
But I was feeling things. You know what I mean?
You were up in your feelings a little bit, as was I. She lets him know that his drawings, his obsessive drawings, what he is drawing is actually reality. That's what really exists. And the woman that he's been drawing is in fact her. And furthermore, they belong together. And that's when they smooch. They smooch it up. And I wrote down at that point, this movie is bug fuck. But I have to say, the leads are so likable, at least to me, that it somehow keeps this crazy room with way too many colors and way too many tchotchkes. It keeps the room together. It ties it together and keeps it on the rails just enough to keep your head in the game.
And who would have ever thought, if you told me like 10 years ago, oh yeah, this movie where Owen Wilson and Salma Hayek are romantic leads. I'd be like, what?
Only in 2021 do I feel that we could be gifted this straight into our living rooms.
But they surprisingly had good chemistry, I thought. I mean, better than I thought they would, you know.
Yeah, what do we think about this chemistry? Because the movie kind of hinges on it. I think I will say it's strange chemistry, but I was with it. I'm guessing Lucas is going to reject it outright, but I'm curious to see, like when they touched lips, what did you think? Were you happy for them? Were you worried?
I wasn't worried, but I wasn't happy for them either. It's a good app description. It's weird for sure that like it's just like I could see them working together like in a normal traditional studio rom-com from like the early aughts, like
Sure.
from 2000 to 2006,
Yes.
let's say.
Yeah.
But yeah, in 2021, wow. At where they both are in their careers and lives, like they have this age and this gravitas, like where it is just like, yeah, it's on a different level, right? Because they're such pros. But I wasn't on board just because the whole thing just felt like a student feature, you know, to invoke the student.
I don't think we're certified. We can't certify.
Okay,
that.
That's fair.
No, we can't.
But
the budget is too.
I don't think the
budget's too huge.
cinematography was student feature certified.
No.
Well, we'll let our listeners decide. Hit us up in those comments.
We'll let our listeners.
I'm not saying there are not elements of student. I've done student features that are similar in plot to this. So there's definitely some plot elements that are like, hey man, we're all living in a simulation. That's definitely a student feature.
The theories were born in a dorm room. That's for sure. The visuals alone push it into ridiculously funded territory. Bishki, before we leap into the absolute craziness of the next section, were you in your feelings at all? Like, did you want this? Did you want to see this couple together, or what were you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, quickly we spiral into drug addiction, and so that's like a crazy love story. I was with it, and especially the next sequence, which I think we have to call the Salad Dragon.
It is 110,000% the Salad Dragon.
The Salad Dragon. A scene in a movie that is so bizarre, baffling, or transcendent that it instantly justifies the price of admission. Or Reese Witherspoon's leafy transformation in A Wrinkle in Time. Now, this is a leafy fucking dragon, folks. Lucas, you gotta at least give it up for this next section here.
Yeah, I know. This is definitely the Salad Dragon scene, but it was shortly after the Salad Dragon where I had to take a time out. I had to like get through this movie and sitting.
Yes,
I was like, fuck, man, I'm out.
The Salad Dragon is a lot to take in, and if you're not ready for it, it could send you into a shame spiral. But if you're on board and if you're dialed in, there is a grimy falling in love montage in this that is one just for the ages. It takes place in a roller skating rink. And God bless him. God bless
Moonlight
him for setting
rollerway.
us at the rink. Is it the Moonlight?
Glendale, California.
Nice.
Holy shit.
I recognize that thing
All
from
right.
a mile away. Every movie that has a roller rink in it is that roller rink.
All right. So I feel even closer to it now because I've been there. But it intercuts Wilson and Hayek making out in this grungy roller rink bathroom, consuming these yellow crystals from her fucking amulet. And then it cuts to them actually going around the rink together, holding hands. They encounter this troublemaker that skates between them, going the wrong way, and breaks their hand holding. And this isn't just a little kid. This is a grown man that does this, by the way, which makes it even funnier. And Wilson, looking completely cracked out by this time, turns around, wiggles his finger at this guy, and sends him flying across the rink. He just goes flying. And of course, Salma Hayek is turned on by this, and they continue to vigorously make out, both in the bathroom and now on the rink itself. Then they just start looking around. A random dude grabs a girl's ass. Hayek raises her middle finger and magically knocks him down with it. She notices this old woman using a walker, giving her the stink eye. This is the best part. She tells Owen to knock her down next. She's like, she's not real, get her. And so he does in this wide shot. He's doing like finger guns. He's like doing like pew pew with his fingers. He knocks her down and then knocks down her elderly companion as well, just for good measure. I think it was her caregiver. Fucking wide shot. It was amazing.
Yeah, telekinetically knocking down elderly people. I was like, wow.
And then it's just a free-for-all. They're knocking everybody down. They're shooting everybody with finger guns. People are going flying. All the while intercut with this grungy sex scene in the bathroom stall when they're still wearing their skates. And you'd think like the music would just be like bonkers, but no. It's like this slow, sultry tune. Like music you'd put behind two lovers like kissing under a street lamp in the rain or something. But it's scoring this roller rink massacre. It's everything we do this podcast for is a section like this. Like that's what it is. And they go to like the coat rack and they steal some coats and some fedoras and fucking head out like a couple of grifters. Oh my God. So after that, Lucas, you had to take a break. Is that right? Like, you just had to.
I was so not in the mood for it. Like, it was just not landing for me. It was just too bonkers.
If you're not into the movie at that point, that is the point where you're like, okay, fuck, that's too much. Like,
you're gonna go way off. Yeah, you're never coming back.
Yeah, I finished it like the following day. I think like I got through 38 minutes the first time. Yeah, like to the Salad Dragon, and I was like, I gotta take a break. I can't watch this right now.
So at this point, especially when they're doing the crystals in the bathroom, I'm like, this is all just a tweaker fever dream, right? Like, it's gotta be. Like, it's gotta be.
They're just on drugs, for sure. This is their reality.
They're just on drugs. So, you know, you get that in your mind. You get that front-loaded.
Well, especially when they go outside of there and they think that they see somebody else being arrested, but then it sort of, it reverses, and instead of, they're watching these people get hauled away in a car, and then it sort of reverses as the car goes by, and it's actually them in the car looking out.
It's them getting arrested.
Right.
So then you really do think like, okay, these guys are just drug addicts. They just went to jail. They got out. And now they're going to look for fucking fast food. You know, I mean,
I thought they were switching addicts. Bodies. Yeah, I was like,
and you have to keep in mind as you're just listening to this is Owen Wilson and Salma Hayek going through all this. It's the last two people you'd ever imagine being in this situation, especially together.
Soulmates.
So they're. They go to get her magic crystal amulet refilled. And they go like to this sketchy building downtown. And Owen's just kind of standing out on the street. And his daughter comes up and she like locates him. She's been looking for him. She's been trying to find him and, you know, get him clean or whatever. And, you know, he sees her. He's like, oh, wow, it's you. And she's like, listen, Dad, you gotta come home. You know, you've been out here. He's like, I'll still be at your graduation. She's like, that happened 2 weeks ago. And, you know, he gets that hangdog look on his face. And then you see that Hayek sees her talking to him and she's talking to her crystal dealer. And you kind of sense that it's a setup. Like she's setting him up. There's some sort of trap afoot that she's laying. And so you're worried for him. And for some reason, I guess only just to make the movie exist and keep moving, the daughter just says, okay, here's a cell phone. Call me when you're ready. Which I'm like, no, he seemed like he was ready to go with you, but no, you're just gonna give him the cell phone and walk away, whatever.
Well, because he says, I'm waiting for my friend. I'm ready to go. I'm just waiting for my friend, which is like, if you ever watch one of those interventions, you know, the intervention show or Dealt with an Addict, that's exactly what happens. Yeah, totally. I'm ready to go with you. I got to get this one thing real quick. Like my friend's coming out with this thing and then we'll go. You know what I mean? For sure. So that's why she's like, oh shit, you know.
She buys it and she walks away. And thank God she does, because it sets the table for Salad Dragon number deuce.
Double Dragon.
They're walking down the street together, Owen and Hayek, and she takes another crystal. A van pulls up and a dude with a gun threatens Owen for being in his territory late at night. And so Owen takes the amulet and gulps down like all the rest of the yellow crystals. And she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he uses his, no, this actually happened in the movie, what I'm about to say. He uses his crystal strength to telekinetically lift the van and crush it.
And then he vomits right afterwards.
And then he violently vomits immediately after.
Like passes out and vomits.
Yeah.
And Hayek is super excited. She says, and I quote, "Dude, look at you. You're like the telekinetic warrior."
Dude, look at you. You're like the telekinetic warrior.
That's a line. Oh my.
But the funniest part about that was the guy in the van that he crushed, like approached him on the street right before that and was like, you want some mud? You want some gack? You want some skank? You want some heroin? You want some H? And he's like, no, I'm all right. And the guy like pulls his ass out and then like looks behind him and is like giving him kissy faces. I mean, it was very vivid.
It's a vivid scene.
Which is also, it speaks to Owen Wilson's performance that I liked about this. If this is a drug parable, it depends on how you interpret it. I like how he framed it as if it was his reality. Like when the guy was like, do you want drugs? He's like, no, I don't want, like, you know, he didn't like, he wasn't walking around like itching himself like I need drugs. He was just like, this is my reality. The reality that I'm living right now is that I can have crystals, which give me telekinetic powers, allowing me to change the physical world around me. I'm not doing drugs. I'm not on drugs. I don't like drugs. This is my reality. You know what I mean? Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where do you go from here? There's only one place you can go, and that is upping the ante into blue crystals. Hayek says they need to take blue crystals now to eject themselves from the simulation.
Just one?
They need to take like 10 or something?
10.
Yeah, it was insane. So she takes out this strange nostril injection device that looks out like something out of a Cronenberg movie. And she loads it with these fucking blue crystals. He sticks it up his nose. And bam, suddenly we're in a completely different realm, a completely different reality.
Yeah.
In which, Bishki, can you explain what happens after he snorts these crystals?
We go to Croatia. Apparently, that was what it was.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful seaside town. And Owen's confused as hell. I'm confused as hell. It's about the 50-minute mark, so it's about halfway through, and the movie has done a switcheroo, and they're like ultra rich
utopia.
I'm sorry, I didn't describe. They're connected to a virtual reality machine called a brain box.
Brain box,
and the whole thing was apparently a hallucination in the brain box.
And Hayek is the doctor that's running the experiment on all these people.
But what does the brain box look like? Are there actual brains in the box?
There are brains in the box.
There's brains. Okay. They're hooked up to a bunch of floating brains.
I don't know how you see student feature. There's just floating brains in a plexiglass box. And then tubes come out of it and the tendrils go into the nose. I don't know.
But Salma Hayek looks like a lot better in this new realm. Like
she's a refined doctor, and Owen is also a doctor in this reality. But the color grading is super saturated now. They're in this utopian society. She takes him on a walk through the grounds. He doesn't remember anything, so he's looking around, and there's holograms running everywhere. There's all sorts of futuristic fun and games going on. And he realizes quickly that he and Hayek are married and they live in his dream house that he's been sketching this whole time. So his dreams are now reality. Whoa. Wow. But we keep cutting back to the former reality and we see his daughter checking homeless shelters for him. But you also see that she was simply a program of the brain box. So you don't know what to believe at this point. Down is up is down. Cats and dogs living together. But it turns out that this reality that he's in now, the saturated utopian reality,
the Tuscany reality,
is their reality. And she created the program of the first 50 minutes, the blue shitty reality, as a way to remind people about how shitty life could be so that they appreciate the utopia that they currently live in. Mm-hmm. That's all somehow happening in this movie.
And this is only like an hour in.
Yes,
true.
That is an important statement.
Yeah, that is actually accurate.
And they belabor the fact that it's basically a scientifically created utopia, that there was all these problems.
Yes.
But I think he was kind of lampooning it a little bit because he was like, there were all these problems, but science is what saved the day. We came up with synthetic biology. We came
Three
up with
things.
Automation, and then we came up with asteroid mining. So that kind of seems like a little bit of
asteroid mining. There's a lot of talk about asteroid mining.
That would not have been the first thing I thought of.
You may wonder how we get all this information delivered to us. Well, it just so happens that Dr. Owen Wilson in this utopia invented this gadget called the Thought Visualizer. And it's a screen which hilariously draws and animates all of your thoughts.
Or your exposition.
It animates the exposition. It's the exposition visualizer. So Hayek literally, she wheels it out, she stands next to it, and she breathlessly explains all this shit and tops it off with asteroid mining. All the while, we're seeing an animated depiction of all the shit that she's saying, which must have been some note that somebody gave, which is like, you got to spice up this exposition dump.
Yeah. Right. They took Screenwriting 101 and they were like, you can't say it. You got to show it. Screenwriting 101. Yeah. and I can tell by Lucas's face that he thought this was an ingenious device never used before. Extremely deft storytelling is what Lucas is thinking about.
Oh no, there's a scene where they're like walking down like a market bazaar and he's like, olive oil, I gotta buy some olive oil. And she's like, no, we have like tons of olive oil at home already.
We gotta get some olive oil.
Oh, no, Greg.
Yes.
No, we have gallons of it at home.
Home?
Bishki, do you have something to say about the thought visualizer?
No, it was a good, effective, visualized TED Talk. And then we go to like a conference in a villa, and we got
it's like a Catalina wine mixer for gadget creators.
And we get Bill Nye.
Bill Nye fucking shows up.
That was my biggest laugh.
From what I could tell, he's playing himself. I think he's playing Bill Nye in this.
I think he was, and that's what gave me the big laugh was this first scene because it was like, oh, Bill Nye. But then he was more of a supporting character. He had like a couple other scenes, and I was like, whoa, Bill Nye.
Yeah, amazing. I think it's his biggest role that I've seen him in. I mean, we've seen him in Mank, which was interesting that he popped up in there. And now he's at this wine mixer. And he's all stoked on the thought visualizer. He's got these lines talking about the thought visualizer. Then later, when Hayek is separated from Wilson, he creeps over and he gets kind of conspiratorial. And he's like trying to act seriously. And he's like, we don't really believe in her research, and we're kind of scared. So you watch your back.
Word on the street that there have been problems with Isabel's research.
I think my favorite line in the whole movie might be Hayek yelling at Wilson.
We have to go back into the brain box, Greg. I need complete data.
Like, there are some just howler lines that get thrown around in this section. And again, God bless these two actors for taking the silliest material imaginable and somehow just through their likability keeping it on the tracks. Like,
and
that's a Herculean
100%. Like Salma Hayek, I've never seen her like wackier. You know what I mean?
No, they do not hold back in this. And if they held back even slightly, we'd all be in Lucasville right now. We'd all be grumpy about it. So, I mean, the movie goes fucking bananas at this point.
It goes like, I think it's like Darren Aronofsky's Mother. Like,
yes.
Owen Wilson's reality starts breaking down. He thinks his daughter's real, and like, there's all these glitches in the Matrix.
Reality folding in on itself.
Bill Nye, there's like a riot in this house, and Bill Nye like throws a guy through a glass table.
And it was supposed to be a utopia. This was supposed to be a utopia, but now the simulation is like creeping back into this utopia somehow and ruining it.
Yeah. After a bunch of action, set pieces and chasing around and running through different realities, the movie lands on kind of more or less where we expected to. It does end up being about his addiction and about his, daughter losing him to his addiction. And I thought the ending was kind of touching. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but Owen was doing a lot of real silent but present acting, and I was into it. I really wanted there to be some sort of surprise, like science fiction triple double sow cow twist at the end, but it grounded it for me at the end in kind of an unexpectedly nice way. But what did you guys think?
I thought it was interesting because it didn't really answer the question of what was real and what wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, basically, they go back in. They realize that this reality is folding in, so they have to go back into the simulation, take the proper dose of blues to get out, and they go to do that. And of course, they can't get the proper dose. But in order to get the proper dose, they're killing everybody. So now there's like no way back. And Owen Wilson says, "I'm going to stay because I like it here. And I want to see my daughter, whatever." And she goes back, quote unquote. And then he's in an AA meeting, right? But that scene was very touching to me, and probably because of his history, his history with his drug addiction and stuff like that. And I chose the way I see it is that I thought it was sort of a drug parable, or maybe it doesn't even matter. Maybe what the message is that like, whether or not we're in a simulation, whether or not this is real or not, like you need to live for what you're living in and like experience what you're living in, as opposed to, I don't know. I thought it was interesting because it didn't nail it home. It didn't say this is exactly what's happening. This is the answer. So I was thinking about it for like the next day. I don't know.
That's good. I mean, if you're still thinking about it,
I'm with Brother D. I think his decision to sort of choose suffering in the simulation over the kind of like ultra rich utopia future, I thought that was well done. And Owen, there's like a good shot of him like just living in the moment in the simulation and at the end, and then he goes to AA, and I was like, I thought the movie wrapped up nicely.
You almost forget how fucking silly it was for like the vast majority. Like he brings it home so hard at the end. Lucas, what did you think of the ending? Did you shed a tear?
No, I definitely did not. Like when his daughter, finally found him, and she was like, I graduated 2 weeks ago. I was just like, oh man, like I feel like I am in a film class, like watching someone's cycle film. But yeah, no, this was not for me. Like I wasn't on board with the ideas, like I just didn't care. I was just like this.
All right, well, let's before we go too far into despair here, let's sniff those blue crystals and go to them Bliss bones. All right, Lucas, we're going to let you cool your heels for a second, actually. I'm going to give you a chance to listen to some Love and Light and maybe warm the cockles of your heart a bit.
Just trying to get my prescription refilled, okay?
Brother D, we love having you back. You're the guest of honor. Kick us off. What say you?
Thank you. That's very kind of you. Let me preface this statement by saying that this is not a movie I would recommend to about half the people I know, but the other half I think would really enjoy it. Like my parents are not going to like this movie. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
My brother is probably not going to like this movie, but there's a lot of people I think who would enjoy it. Now, the past me and the future me might have different opinions about this movie, but I will say this. It was very engrossing. I meant to take notes during the movie, and I really didn't because I didn't want to miss anything on screen. It was emotionally engrossing. I thought the cinematography was excellent. I thought that I was really in there. Now, the storytelling, you get lost in a bit, but I think you're sort of you're getting value in the fact that you don't know what's happening, but you're also losing value because you don't know what's happening. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. And to help you out, Owen Wilson rarely knows what's going on in it. So you can just kind of surf along with him.
Yeah, exactly. And you're right. He has charisma. I thought that his performance was really good. I thought it was very understated. Like I said before, he didn't do a lot of drug addict stuff that you normally do when you're trying to win an Oscar or something like that for a drug guy. You know what I mean? Like it was presented that this was his reality and not that he was like a drug addict.
Yeah, most of the heavy lifting was hair, a little bit of dirt on his face, and his clothing getting more disheveled. Like he wasn't bringing any crazy ticks to it. Which
no, because he just thought this is what was happening. You know what I mean? I thought the kids were great. I thought that the daughter was very convincing. I thought she was. I don't know. I experienced a lot of emotions during this, which that's great. Like when you to me, Forrest Gump is still one of my favorite movies. I know a lot of people think it's manipulative. I know a lot of people think that the soundtrack is manipulative.
Bless you for that.
But guess what? I cried during that fucking movie, and so I give a lot of points for a movie getting me to feel something. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I also will posit this: there was 3 levels of simulation in that movie. There was the level that was the poverty level. Right?
Yeah.
And then they went up to this next level that was this rich level, right? And then there's a third level, which is us watching this movie. Because it is really a simulation, right? So I thought it had a lot of interesting ideas. I thought it didn't answer any of them, which I like. It's frustrating, but I like it.
Because there are no answers.
Yeah. So again, I don't know if it was just the right night, just the right amount of weed or whatever. I'm going to go 3 bones for this movie.
Nice.
3 bones from Brother D. That's a strong 3.
Very nice.
All right. Lucas is still cooling off a little bit. Brother Bishke, I know you were smiling during this movie.
I was smiling. I was laughing. Owen always gets me going.
Owen always gets me going.
In the tradition of replicas and Serenity.
Serenity. Finally, someone brings up Serenity.
Yeah. It's got some Serenity virtual stuff going on. I have to support this kind of filmmaking and stuff like this getting green light. I mean, it's very rough around the edges, but writer-director Mike Cahill goes big on ideas and on ambition. And I'm always up for, ideas over, craftsmanship necessarily. But I thought it looked great too. It was tripping out in the first half. I didn't know how far down the drug simulation we were gonna go. But I liked the switcheroo midway. Brought back a memory of a podcast of author and investor Tim Ferriss, if you're familiar with.
4-Hour Work Week.
He microdoses pain to kind of to challenge himself, and you can kind of sympathize with Owen Wilson wanting to be like, no, I'm not going to be just an ultra rich, utopian. I'm going to go back to this world of suffering and homelessness and deal with it.
Take it back to the streets.
Yeah. I didn't know where this movie was going at any point. It was a roller coaster, not going to be for everyone. I like Brother D said, recommend to the right people. Everyone in the lodge should see this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
required.
I love The Matrix. I love Cronenberg's Existence. This movie's probably not on par with those 2 classics, but it's crazy. It's got the same crazy, ambitious spirit. I'm going to throw it 2.5 bones.
2.5 bones from Brother Bishke. All right. Into the heart of darkness we go with Brother Lucas.
Well, no, love and light, fam. I'm glad you all got some mileage out of this run. I guess to give you my Mike Cahill background, I didn't make it through Another Earth. I noped out of that like probably 30 or 40 minutes in, and the I Origins trailer I thought was pretty silly or cheesy. I couldn't even bring myself to watch that movie. So going into this one, I was wary. I was very wary. And yeah, right from the get, I was just not on board with the program, and it was odd, the casting of Owen Wilson and Salma Hayek. You know, it's like you could almost see like different actors in the role or what have you, but for whatever reason, he chose those two actors. And I did a little online research, like reading some interviews, and I guess neither one of them, Owen Wilson or Salma Hayek, read the script. Mike Cahill just basically pitched them and was like, this is my idea, you know, man.
Perfect.
Like, I smoked some DMT, and it's like, what if this was all a simulation? And you had to experience the bad to appreciate the good. And you know, they said yes, which kind of like blows me away.
They all sniff some blue crystals, and
because I guess they're not getting offered like a lot of projects. You know, like when you get older in Hollywood, you tend to be discarded. I mean, look at like so many great, you know, careers that just like go like on the skids, and then you've got like, I don't know. But watching this movie, it took me 3 different sittings. So it was like the first sitting I made it to the first Salad Dragon. And then the second sitting, I did the mini dragon that was like after that, where you crushed the van. And then finally the third sitting, I got through the rest of it. And I just didn't care. Like I really, it just felt like it was like a film school project, like more than anything. And I think if it was like a traditional studio romantic comedy somehow, I would like it more, if that makes any sense. Like I'd throw it a bone.
There was romantic comedy elements.
Oh, you're making stir fry?
I know it's there. Like I want to see these two actors together, but just not in this film. So I got to give it a woof. I'm sorry.
Incorrect.
What? That's
can I ask you, Lucas? Is this retaliatory?
No,
because we all enjoyed this so much.
No,
like, I'm not. I think a lot of your ideas are right, but like
this honestly was so bad that I did something I never do. The next morning when I finally finished,
you stayed awake through a movie.
No, yeah, I looked up who represents Mike Cahill. Is WME, and his agents are pretty important. They got a lot of fancy clients. But then I was like, okay, who produced this movie? Like, who gave him the money to make this? And it's like James D. Stern. He like founded Endgame Entertainment. Like he basically liked Mike and his idea and just cut him a check. But it's like, wow, man, I need to get out there and write some wacky shit.
I don't know much about Mike Cahill at all, so I've never watched anything else by him. So, but I do know Amazon is giving out shitloads of money, so we should write something.
But in the meantime,
woof! Wow,
I'm going to render the correct verdict on this. And let you know that I have this blessing and this curse of not just seeing the movie, but I see, you know, when I watch a movie like this, I see all the meetings behind it, all the deals, all the opportunities that everybody has to back out that they just don't take. They're like, this is it. We're going through with this. First day of shooting, Salma Hayek looks at herself in the mirror and she's like, I'm really here. I'm really doing this. And I love that. I love that they fucking pushed through on this silly, silly, silly concept, and they somehow touched my heart with it. Like they somehow made it sing in a weird, fucked up, definitely not for everyone kind of way. But you know what? I got to give it 3 bones as well. I got to give it 3 solid bones. It's bug fuck crazy. It shows you things that you haven't seen before. And in this topsy-turvy 2021 VOD world, what else can we ask for at this point?
Yeah.
Other than to see something that tickles us in a way that we haven't been tickled in quite a long time, or sometimes maybe ever.
It's a hell of a lot better than that Tropical Storm movie with fucking Mel Gibson. I'll tell you that much.
Force of nature. We just reminded ourselves.
Bishki and I were talking about that. We're like, what was the last movie that Brother D was on? And we do officially apologize. Force of nature was not.
It was still lodge-worthy. That movie was definitely lodge-worthy for sure.
But
That's true. This
was made for the lodge, in my opinion. But
yeah. This movie kind of felt like a mushroom trip to me. Like a little bit of a mushroom trip.
Yeah, this one is custom molded for the lodge and the lodge cast. And I couldn't be happier that we had you back on. LT, I'm sorry that we hurt you again on this one, but
no, it makes sense because I feel like these are the months, January and February, and like normal before times, like is like when shit just gets dumped and like released on VOD, and this was like the perfect VOD movie because it's like I could never imagine like seeing that in a theater. It's just no way.
Oh, imagine a discount night.
Ooh, just high as balls, like eating like way too many edibles. Oh, wonderful.
Oh, man. That would have been great.
Bliss.
That's Bliss, y'all. We got blissed.
Except for me.
Brother D, thanks for getting blissed out with us.
Thank you, Brother D.
for having me. I loved seeing all you guys, man. I apologize, Lucas, for my... The only reason my reaction was so extreme is that I respect your opinion so much.
It hurts when he's so wrong.
The wolf hurt. The wolf hurt.
Because, Brother Lucas, let me ask you this. What did you give that shitty Mel Gibson movie? You didn't give it a woof, dude. You're saying that Mel Gibson movie was better than this movie?
I bet he didn't give it a woof.
I gave the Hurricane movie, I think I gave it one bone because I thought there should have been more tigers or more neighbors or like something more than what they had, but they were onto something. Like they almost had it. Like
if Bliss took place during a tropical storm.
Oh right, you had a live rewrite where it was like the tigers got out and the neighbors had to band together to like get away from the tigers, which is a great.
That was a great one.
Great live rewrite.
He gave one bone to his own rewrite, but I guarantee if Bliss took place during a tropical storm or really just a little bit of rain,
he loves.
We could have had a half bone. We could have had a half bone out of him, but it wasn't to be. All right, love and light and bliss to everybody.
Love and light. God bless.
Set adrift on memory bliss of you. The camera pans a cocktail glass behind a blind of plastic plants. Finds a lady with a fat diamond ring. Then you know I can't remember a damn thing. I think it's one of those deja vu things, or a dream is trying to tell me something. But will I ever stop thinking about it? I don't know. I doubt it. Subterranean by design. I wonder what I would find if I met you. Let my eyes caress you until I meet the thought of Mrs. Princess who often wonder what makes her work. I guess I'll leave that question to the experts, assuming that there are some out there. They're probably alone, solitaire. I can remember when I caught up with a pastime intimate friend. She said, but you're probably gonna say I look lovely, but you probably don't think nothing of me. She was right though, I can't lie. She's just one of those corners of my mind, and I just put her right back with the rest. That's the way it goes. Baby, you send me out. Baby, you send me out. Set adrift on memory bliss. Baby, you send me out. Baby, you send me out. Set adrift on memory bliss of you.
Dude, we're living in a simulation, man. Like, don't you know I'm loco?